The Red Cross movement has updated the number of missing persons searched for in Nigeria to 17,000. The Nigerian Red Cross Society and the International Committee of the Red Cross says the figure reflects the number of cases currently under active tracing after a nationwide review of family contact records. The organization stressed that this does not mean fewer people are missing. Rather, it reflects the cases where they're able to maintain contact with families and continue tracing effort. Well, over the years, the Red Cross movement has worked on about 24,000 missing persons cases across Nigeria, helping families separated by conflict, violence, and other humanitarian crises. Now let's have this conversation with the Coordinator Protection of Family Links International Committee of the Red Cross. He joins me from our Abuja studio, Delphine Birmingham. Thank you for joining us on the news this hour. The number of missing persons cases under active tracing in Nigeria has now been updated to 17,000. Can you explain what this new figure actually represents following the statement that was released?
Good afternoon. First of all, thank you very much for inviting us and giving us the opportunity to clarify a little bit more. So as you probably know, the International Committee of the Red Cross, together with the National Society, which here in Nigeria, of course, the Nigerian Red Cross, in many countries all over the world, we try to help families to look for a missing loved one. So, for example, if somebody in the family went missing due to conflict, any kind of situation of violence, migration as well, or a natural disaster, the families can come to us and then we sit together and we try to see how we can help them and maybe find the missing person again, or at least have some news of what happened to this missing person. So as you know, of course, in Nigeria, especially also in the Northeast, you have the conflict which has been ongoing for years now. So for many years, many families have approached us, many thousands of families. And as long as they approach us and that we have some hope, some possibility to go and look for the missing loved ones, for the missing relative, we continue. Okay? And for the moment, we kind of had to set the record straight and to adjust and also be transparent to the public. I think we have a certain accountability as a humanitarian organization, and we had to make it clear that for the moment we will continue to look for about 17,000 missing persons in Nigeria, like really actively looking for them. So, as we said also in the article that we published, whatever figure that the Red Cross, Red Crescent movement shares with the public, whether it's about Nigeria or any other country or even globally, for example, the figure of last year of missing persons registered with the Red Cross, Red Crescent movement was 227,000. It's only tip of the iceberg.
I'm so sorry to cut in.
The people who go missing.
Does this mean that the number of persons that are actually missing, there's a high possibility that it is more than that figure, 17,000?
Yeah, and it's in any country. We always try to be very, very open about it. We can only note or publicly say a figure of the families who came to us, who registered with us. And there are always many families who, or they don't know that they can come to the Red Cross or to the ICRC to register, to open a case, to ask us for help. Sometimes there are families who don't dare to come forward, it happens as well, or simply that they live in a very, very remote area and that they hardly ever meet anybody from the Red Cross, or that they cannot move towards an office, or that there is no network, so they can't call us, they can't inform us. So this we always have to take into consideration. Whatever number we give, nationwide or globally, it just represents a number of families who came to us at a specific point.
And even with this, reduction, Nigeria still records the highest number of, missing persons in the continent. Talk to us about some of the biggest challenges that your team really faces in locating missing persons, particularly in areas affected by conflict, displacement, and insecurity.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Sometimes we can find similarities also in other countries where we work. Often it's a question of accessibility. Some areas, as you know, are simply not accessible, even for us, and even if we have a very wide network of Nigerian Red Cross volunteers. We have more than 300 volunteers who do this specific tracing activity. Even with them trying to go as far as they can, there are still remote areas which we cannot access. It could be also because they're simply too remote. Maybe there has been flooding, but it could also be due to insecurity, of course. Then one of the other challenges is, as you know, the conflict has been going on for years in Nigeria, which means that both the families who ever approached us, but also the person who went missing, anything could have happened to them. And people tend to move quite a lot, meaning maybe a family is displaced for the first time, maybe a few years later they get again displaced to another location, etc., etc. And then it becomes really very difficult for us, for our teams, to go looking for a person, because there are so many stages of the displacement that it really becomes quite complicated. And another factor that also plays is the fact that at some point, when the families come to us and they give their contact details, they give their address, often they try to give a phone number so we can try to stay in touch with us, because that's actually one of our activities. Once you open a case, our colleagues and the volunteers, they will always try to reach out to them, call them quite regularly, to share maybe news or to get also updates back from the families. But once you share a phone number, if in the meantime something happens, maybe the phone gets lost, they change the phone number, they're out of reach, then we often kind of lose contact. And that's actually one of the things that happens. While for years, the last few years, we always have reported that the active missing persons caseload in Nigeria was around 24,000. We started to feel bit by bit that we were also losing contact with families. And then we did a whole exercise trying to find out with how many families can we still stay in contact. So we try to send bulk SMSs to all the phone numbers that we still have in our database. We try to find those families. We try to call them. We did so many things, try to find out where those families could be. And then, unfortunately, several of them, we completely lost contact. We don't know where they are. Most likely also, again, being in very, very inaccessible areas, which makes it, again, almost impossible for our teams to reach out to them.
I mean,
so although those people will still... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Wrap up your statement.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, even though those people, they will always stay with us. You know, their files will stay with us. They're not forgotten. But we will have to focus now on about 17,000 missing persons where we think there is still a chance that we can continue to search for them, and for who we still have the contact with the families. If we lost the contact with the families, we just kind of put them a little bit on the side for the moment, and we cannot really continue to actively look for them, for the missing person.
Great work you are doing. It seems from this statement we're yet to, get a fraction of the true picture of the actual missing persons. But like what you have said now, we have to focus on those that, you still have contact and can still actively trace. Great work you're doing. Thank you for joining us on the news this hour. We look forward to a reduction in those figures when next I speak to you. Coordinator Protection of Family Links International Community of the Red Cross from Abuja studio, Delphine Birmingham. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.